There's an expression and it goes, no pain, no gain. And a lot of people will use this expression, especially around the idea of going to the gym. That if you don't push yourself to the limits, if you don't try as hard as you possibly can, if you don't basically get outside of your comfort zone and see how much you can push your body, you're not going to have any gains. If you don't go through the painful adversity of trying to come out the other side better off, then you're not going to see the success. Basically, if you don't push yourself hard in the gym, you're not going to have any gains, not just labor gains, any physical gym gains. But when it comes to the job market, when it comes to the hiring process and just looking for jobs in 2025, I don't know if that expression is true. Yes, there's plenty of pain. There's the pain of filling out a resume, especially if you're trying to customize your resume to fit the job description. There's a pain of rewording your cover letter and making sure that you look like the perfect fit for the company in general. How your missions and values align absolutely perfectly with that of the company's. And then there's also the pain of uploading your resume and having Workday do an absolutely terrible job of parsing it. So this beautifully crafted resume you put together, I don't even know if it's getting to the hiring manager because you're having to enter all this information, copy and paste once again into Workday. And I don't know, you could have a beautifully structured resume, but if they're just looking at the fields that are in Workday, I don't even know if that matters at all either. There's the pain of doing endless assessments that really don't tell you anything. I mean, personality tests, SAT kind of situational questions, talking to virtual recruiters, basically chat GPT with a layer over it to give themselves a voice or a name, or just talking to yourself, having the computer screen show you a question and you having 2 to 3 attempts to record yourself giving that answer with no give and take, no back and forth, just simply recording like I'm doing right here. What's the difference between me recording and talking to YouTube and you doing this recording and trying to get it to a hiring manager? Well, thankfully, the difference is people are actually watching this, and I don't know if the hiring managers are watching your videos. They're probably just simply going through the motions and just trying to get your data so they can sell it and make some real money. There's the pain of the interview process, where if you finally do get to talk to a human over the phone, you're going to have 4, 5, 6 rounds of interviews. And then even if you get through all that, it's never too late for them to tell you that the job has been rescinded. It's never too late to tell you that they're deciding to go in a different direction, that this position is closed. So yes, plenty of pain. But what is the gain? Maybe going through tough situations and tough times makes you a better human being. Maybe adversity really does build character. But other than that, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of gain, a lot of new jobs, new gainful employment to match all the pain that they put you through. Today, I have some more viewer mail, some comments from you, my wonderful viewing audience, that just shows that it's not no pain, no gain. It's plenty of pain and probably no gain. And it's quite a shame that you put yourself through all this. And even if you get to talk to someone, they treat you like absolute crap. It's really appalling, all that you have to go through, how vulnerable you have to be, all the hoops you have to jump through, all the silly childlike games you have to play, just to get treated like absolute garbage. But our first commenter today says, I paid $4,000 out of my pocket to get my CDL and can't find a job. All I heard, especially during the pandemic, was how truck drivers are needed and the pay is great. No job. Nobody emails me back unless it's to say no. The one time I actually responded with, why not? I was told 2 things. The first is the insurance cost to hire a new driver with no experience is too high. And the second was, I have no experience, lol. Literally a bleeping joke at this point. I can't even get a call back for a shipping or receiving job, even though I worked logistics for 8 years, and 3 of those I was an assistant manager. Unbelievable. And this is not even advice that faded away during the pandemic. Still, at least once a week on this channel in the comments section, someone says just go get a CDL. Acting like if you just go from, the idea of couch to 5K, yeah, I'm gonna go couch to CDL driver. No, it just doesn't work like that. You have to have some kind of experience in basically anything you're going to do. I don't really know a situation in which someone's going to pay you and it's okay that you don't have experience. In 2025, there's no on-the-job training. In 2025, there's no learn as you go. In 2025, there's no comprehensive training programs that can make anyone from a zero to a winner to give you all the information you're going to need. No, that's not going to happen. If you don't have the exact skill set, if you haven't been through the exact thing for multiple years, you are just not going to get hired. And it's as simple as that. So we see this person saying, all right, bet, let me get the CDL license. Let me invest in myself. Let me spend $4,000 because everyone's telling me that, hey, just drive trucks, bro. There's plenty of people hiring. Goes through that. It's told two things. Number one, the insurance is going to be too high to even cover you. So, and then number two, you don't have enough experience. So you can't just go from a tech job to paying out of pocket to get the CDL. I mean, that is a big investment. $4,000 is a big investment in your career. And I'm sure that took time and effort and additional things. And this still gets you nowhere because you don't have the experience. Even if you have the CDL. Same thing as a degree. If you're freshly out of college and if you didn't have a wonderful internship, if you weren't also working while putting yourself through college and like a real job, not like fast food or retail, if you weren't working illegally for a job that you needed a degree while you were in college, you're cooked too. So you have to find out some kind of way to get experience, even if you pay for your own CDL, even if you go through 4 years of college. Nobody's taking a chance on anybody anymore. No one's seeing potential in anybody anymore. You're just getting treated like crap and disrespected. What's the point? How can I possibly get experience if no one will hire me? You think it's just a meme, but this is the actual reality of what's going on. And even if you have experience, there's no guarantee. He said that he looked for a shipping and receiving job, still didn't get a call back, even with 8 years of logistics experience and 3 as an assistant manager. Okay, we don't want to hire people with management experience. We don't need any more managers. We're streamlining. We're skeleton crewing this thing. Okay, great. Then I have 5 years of logistics experience as they would say in tech, an individual contributor. Still not getting callbacks. Maybe he needs to take the assistant manager off. All right, I was just individual contributor. I was just a basic worker bee in shipping and receiving, and that's it. I never pushed myself. I never applied myself, and I never even tried or even thought about being a manager. I just want to do the basic work of an individual contributor. Then maybe you'll get callbacks. Who really knows? The next commenter says, I took almost 2 years off trying to become a plumber or pipe fitter. I got tired of my sales job. Too unstable, always moving around, chasing the highest commission gig, etc. At the time, everyone told me that it was a wonderful idea and how brave I was, that the skilled trades always need people. Now that I graduated, I can't find an employer willing to take me on as an apprentice. Now that same crowd is telling me, you're stupid and can't hack it as a plumber. You're 43 years old. You're too old for that. What did you think would happen? These employers are right. Maybe you should just dig ditches or serve French fries. And then Emily replies to that saying, they don't know anything except to flap their lips and unjustly judge. Ignore them. So what do you say to that? Last person trying to get their CDL paid $4,000 out of pocket. This person says, hey, I'm trying to become a plumber or a pipe fitter. I spent 2 years. The first person spent the money. I'm sure it took time to get the CDL as well. And this person spent 2 years trying to make a pivot, trying to make an adjustment. But it's not as simple as just going to college and getting a job, right? That's what a lot of us fell into. Now it's, go and get your CDL. There's plenty of openings. Okay, that's not that easy. All right, go and be a plumber or a pipe fitter, something else in the trades. Okay, well, after you do that, after you get your certification, then you have to be an apprentice. And they're not going to hire you as an apprentice if you're in your 40s. Now you're too old. Now, okay, this is not the option for you. So if you've been laid off from your tech job, what are you supposed to do? Can't go and get a CDL. I mean, go and get the CDL, but you can't get a job doing that because the insurance won't cover you. They're not going to pay that much money and you don't have actual experience. Okay, be a plumber, bro. All right, you can go through, take your 2 years, become a certified plumber or whatever it's actually called, and then you can't get an apprenticeship because you're too old. So where is the pivot? Where is the switching gears that you're actually supposed to do? We have 2 examples of people who could go and switch gears, try something else. You're wasting your breath, you're wasting your time. Okay, what do you pivot to? So, CDL driver? No. Plumber? No. Let's keep going. Next, Robert says, I like the previous content about being interviewed by someone who clearly does not understand the role they are hiring for, has no experience in interviewing, or knows that the candidate has already been selected, and they just want to get the interview over with and to give the impression that they interviewed several people and hired the most qualified candidate, when in reality, someone was backdoor hired. I was interviewed by 3 board members for a nonprofit for a position as a grant writer. As part of my resume, I attached a 3-page list of the grants that I had recently obtained. I expressed the fact that I not only have a documented history of successful grantsmanship, but that I also taught it to other people. The reply cliche I got was, just because you can teach it doesn't mean you can do it. I was appalled. During the remainder of the interview, one of the interviewers made 2 outgoing phone calls. If this is the organization on their best behavior, I wonder what working there is like. And this is what happened. Okay, you're getting ghosted. There's fake jobs. There's no one on the other end of that. But if by some miracle you're able to get past all of that, this is the kind of nonsense you got to deal with. You have the experience. You know exactly what's going on. But who's interviewing you? Because at first you're going to talk, or not at first, but once you're through, we talk about 5 or 6 rounds of interviews. Well, what do we call everything else? By the time you do an assessment, by the time you talk to a virtual recruiter, there might be one other thing. So you're going to have 2 or 3 different levels to go through before even talking to any kind of representative of the job. And that person's going to be a third-party recruiter or someone in the internal HR or someone in talent acquisition, whatever you want to call it, whether they have it in-house or outsource it. And that person's probably not going to know all the ins and outs of the job. Maybe they are handed a job description and a basic overview, but they're not going to know if you know what that you're talking about. And they're certainly not going to know what they're talking about as well. And these are the people who might not even pass you on to the hiring manager. Well, how are they supposed to know if you're a good fit or not? If they've never done the job you're applying for a day in their life, how are they supposed to know if you're good or not? And then, like Robert says, the interview process is the people in the company being on their best behavior. But if they're wearing sweaters and t-shirts to interviews like I've been a part of, if they're making outgoing phone calls, I mean, I've read one of these things where it was, they were eating during the interview or laughing or whatever. Like, they're supposed to be on their best behavior. If this is their best behavior, yeah, there's all kinds of red flags. And it's unfortunate because you need a job, but I don't know how long these jobs are going to last if your hiring team acts like this. So if they give you a job offer, I mean, you got to take the job offer, but definitely still continue to look because this is not a place that you're going to probably be able to be at for 5-10 years. So people are not getting job offers, even if they're pivoting to the trades, if they're trying to be a truck driver, if they're trying to be a plumber, or even if they're going for jobs that they have 8 to 10 years of experience in, whether they've been a manager or not, still not getting jobs. Nobody's really getting job offers at all, it seems. All they're getting is disrespected and treated like crap. But let me know what you think of all of this down in the comments below. And if you have some extra time, YouTube thinks you'll get a lot of value out of the video on screen now. And until next time, remember, times are tough, but so are you. Talk to you later.